Utah is expected to get about $220 million over the next decade as part of Meta's multi-billion-dollar settlement that was settled today. Meta was on trial over allegations that its products are addictive to teenagers. This deal would also force major changes to how Instagram and Facebook operate for children and teens, but there is one Utah tech entrepreneur who says the money and the new safety features still don't go far enough. Pete Ashdown says that the damage social media has already done to young people and society cannot simply be undone by a settlement. He spoke with me a little bit earlier today about whether this could be social media's big tobacco moment.
It's great to see it happening. I think even at $18 billion, it was insufficient punishment for what Meta and other social media companies have done to our society and our children. But it's a great start.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it this way, Mark Zuckerberg could probably stroke a check for $18 billion himself today, and it wouldn't change his life, let alone a company that I think did $200 billion in profit last year alone. So when you look at an $18 billion settlement, from your experience, is that just the way that these things work? There has to be a negotiation. They have to land on a number. But the money aside, is the real test here what changes with the products and how young people can use them?
Yeah, and I feel like the horses are out of the barn as far as that goes. As the damage has been done. Certainly, changing to social media now is something I would like to see, but kids are moving off of social media onto AI products, and we have a whole new ball of wax to deal with.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before. You just alluded to it a little bit, sort of the changing societal impacts and concerns around social media use. Maybe kids are gravitating more towards artificial intelligence. But do you think younger generations are looking at social media and they have more awareness about the impacts that it had on their older generations and counterparts that we didn't know then that we know now? If you could talk about that.
I can't quantify it, but I've heard the stories of kids wanting dumb phones instead of smartphones, kids turning their nose up at TikTok and Facebook and thinking it's all a waste of time, waste of their time. I'm encouraged by those reports, but again, I don't know how many kids are actually doing it. I think that there's still a huge amount of young adults and teenagers that are using TikTok, social media, Facebook, et cetera, and are quite addicted to it.
A lot of people are asking, is this big tobacco's moment for social media? What do you think?
I think it's the first moment. I think we need a lot more moments to really say it's the same as big tobacco. Big tobacco had a number of lawsuits over decades, but it's great to see this first one.
What would you say to folks that don't fully understand that? Because it's my understanding there are a lot of lawsuits still pending against these social media companies. There's one big one out of New Mexico, and I think there's like hundreds or maybe even thousands more across the country. So what do you mean when you say that this is the first one?
Well, it's going to be interesting to go up against an entity like TikTok, which isn't really based in the U.S. But Meta and Facebook and Instagram are all controlled by one company. And when you're talking about only 18 states being a part of this lawsuit, I'm sure the other states are taking notice and saying, hey, we got to get a piece of that as well.
Now, Meta said in a statement in part, quote, "We want to get this right for parents and teens, and that's why we partnered with state attorneys general to set a new industry standard."